I never knew this was a thing, but couples actually travel abroad to get IVF, to do their egg donation or their sperm donation procedures.
Welcome to Her Fertility, the podcast revolutionizing the way women are supported on their fertility journey. I'm your host, Jess Timms. With years of supporting women as a fertility doula, I've seen the emotional pain caused by infertility, including my own struggle with unexplained infertility. And I always knew there had to be a better way to support women with their fertility health and healing. This is the first podcast to combine the principles of spirituality and energy healing with the research-based fertility data to support you in a way you've never seen before. You can stop feeling alone, confused, frustrated, and overwhelmed, and start finding the answers you've been looking for, because this podcast goes so much deeper than anything you can search for online. If you're ready to find a new spiritual perspective for your fertility journey, then press play. We are here to reclaim control, find clarity, and transform the fertility conversation.
Welcome back to the Her Fertility podcast. Today, I'm joined by Ata Tekin from Fertility Soul over in the Mediterranean Sea on the island of Cyprus. And he is staying up late in his time zone to join me on the podcast to share with you all about the reality of traveling abroad for IVF or for egg donation procedures. To be honest, I had no idea that this was an option for couples until Ata reached out to me. Welcome, Ata.
Hello, so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
When you reached out to me on Instagram, I didn't know that couples could travel outside of the United States for assisted reproductive procedures. So I'm really excited to dive into this because the more you've taught me, the more I'm realizing that this is a viable option for couples. And I want to open the doors and ask questions so we can get all the information from you today. Will you share about your clinic and all the services you offer?
We have two clinics. One is Cyprus Crown IVF Center. This is our main clinic. My dad's name is Dr. Halil Ibrahim Tekin, but shortly known as Dr. Hit. He's an IVF specialist who has been doing this for the last 30 years. And he has a record of over 35,000 babies as of today. He helped to bring into this world. We have also another clinic. It's called Cyprus America. Our Dr. Erman had his education in Istanbul, Turkey, and then moved to Cyprus. And our success rates for each clinic with IVF, it's mostly dependent on the female's age factor, but it's above 60% for both clinics. And this rating even goes up for the egg donation procedure, because when you receive eggs from a younger donor, the chances they go way up above 80%.
Do you do sperm donation as well?
Of course, we work with sperm banks in Denmark, and the sperms, they come with their own certificates. Denmark is a very reliable source for this.
And in Cyprus, I know it's different in other countries. Can couples have the option to select gender?
It is an option for sure. This is done through the application called PGD, pre-genetic diagnosis. So we have a lot of options for patients who are trying to explore their options for these fertility treatments.
And I want to be clear. So I'm Los Angeles based, and there is a city called Cyprus close to Los Angeles, but this is not what we're talking about. The island of Cyprus in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, we also have in Canada, where I was living, we also have the Cypress Mountain just right next to Vancouver. But this is CYPRUS. It's written in a different way.
Being connected with the Fertility Soul page, it is a beautiful island where it seems like wonderful temperatures year round and a great place to travel.
Yeah, of course. We have amazing temperatures all year round. You know, when people come over, they can expect to, just feel this actual relaxation when they first come out of the airport, the clean air, the food is all grown naturally. The beach is also, I think, helpful for you to relax. We have this amazing untouched beaches with crystal clear blue waters. It's a very dreamy island.
I feel like in the United States, we don't have an awareness that people are traveling abroad for an IVF procedure or for an egg donation procedure, but people are actually doing this. Is that right?
Yeah, of course, because like our population is very small. Our populations are below 1 million. And we need to find patients from other countries, mostly coming from Britain, France, Germany, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon. We're dependent on people coming from overseas.
I feel like if I were in this boat where I was trying to make a decision on IVF, I would consider traveling because I love to travel anyway. I feel like it would take me out of my day to day and let me focus on the
Mhm.
procedure and also relax on an island. But I would also want to know that the clinic I'm going to caters to and has experience with international clients. So that's comforting for me.
Exactly. We have patient coordinators from all around the world. We have German, Arabic, English, Turkish, French. We're trying to always extend our family of coordinators to be able to help more people from all around the world.
Can you walk me through what the process would be if somebody said, "Hey, Jess, I want to travel to Cyprus and connect with them"?
Firstly, they need to learn about the patient's history, if they had any miscarriages or if they had a child before. And then they would actually ask them to get some tests done in their country of origin. For example, for IVF, the two main ones are AMH and HSG. There are other tests, blood tests, serology tests for HIV and infectious diseases, STDs, syphilis. We all require those tests. I just wanted to share about tests. We also help people who have STDs. This is a program we have for HIV called sperm washing. We do this for our male patients who don't want to, of course, transmit this disease to their child. We had amazing success with that as well. You need to do those tests in your country, or you can come to Cyprus and you can get those tests done in Cyprus as well. It all depends on your choice, your desire.
Do your coordinators help arrange travel? Do people do their own travel?
Yeah, we work with hotels and we work with agencies that buy plane tickets. So they have the option to choose, I think, 4 or 5 hotels near our clinics. But of course, if they want to book their own tickets and their own hotels, they're more than welcome to do that as well. Of course, we handle the ground transportation to pick our patients from the airport and then they arrive at our clinics. Yeah, it's very convenient. They don't need to worry about speaking either Turkish or Greek. We provide them with invitation letters and they just need to show that letter to the passport officer. It's very effortless and we arrange everything. We're trying to make them as comfortable as they can.
That's wonderful. If someone is using egg donor with your clinics, it would be about a 7-day process. If they need to do the egg retrieval and then the procedure, that would be about 14 to 15 days. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. IVF with own eggs takes longer. Egg donation is much more simpler and you need basic tests to be able to start the treatment process. I connect them with the clinics and then they need to talk to a coordinator. The coordinators are going to help them arrange their tickets, help them find a clinic in their country to get those tests done as soon as possible. And then as soon as they have the tests, they send it to us and we give it to our doctors. After that, we do the following appointment with them and they can schedule their arrival to Cyprus.
And if a couple does do egg retrieval with you, can they house the embryos with your clinics?
Yeah, we can freeze them and we can store them. We work on a 6 months basis. And if they
Yeah.
want to come back to have another child, it's all ready for them. I just want patients to really do their research before they go into any clinic because the doctor plays a major role. And then, of course, it comes the embryology lab. It needs to be in perfect condition for the embryo transfer procedure. That's a very important thing in this field.
Something that stood out for me when we were talking initially was the detail of the paint on the walls in the room where the eggs are kept is really important. And so I feel like the attention to detail that you take is really apparent.
Yeah, all of our embryologists, doctors in our clinics, they're not allowed to wear any scents. They're not allowed to wear any perfumes or colognes because it can damage the embryo. So we're trying to control everything, and we need to, because that's what keeps us alive in this field.
One other thing you mentioned was the doctor matters. And I fully believe that when you're doing your research, looking at your options, your connection with the doctor matters. And I have yet to meet your dad. I hope to meet him someday, but I do
Yeah.
follow you on Instagram, and the videos that you post of him, I can feel the love from him in his work. When people travel, will they know at the end of that time whether they're pregnant or not? Or do they come home and have to wait? Like, how does that work?
It depends on the couple, to be honest. If they need to be back in their country, they can definitely take a pregnancy test in their home country, of course, and they can give birth in their home country. So they don't need to stay after the embryo transfer.
Okay, so they would do the embryo transfer, go home, and then from there be cared for by their physician at home.
Yeah, if they want to spend more time, they'd be welcome. And of course, we're still in contact with them after they leave. We do calls, we keep in touch, and we need those cute baby pictures after they give birth. We just want to see them. We just want to see that they're happy and they have healthy babies in their arms. And really, it matters to us so much. I would say it's going to be less costly compared to what is offered in America or in Canada. The base price are starting from $10,000, and there's the cost of medication, and medication adds up to almost half the price of one IVF cycle. And in Cyprus, it's going to be more cost effective. You're going to spend less money with the plane tickets and accommodation compared to what you're going to spend in America or in Canada.
That is a big barrier here in the United States, is the cost of IVF. If a couple is paying out of pocket, traveling abroad should be something to consider.
Yeah, it's going to be way affordable for people in the United States.
Do you have a story you want to share of clients who traveled and what their process was like?
I have so many, but I want to share one. It's a very crazy story. So this couple, they were trying to get pregnant for 17 years, and they tried 44 times IVF cycles.
Wow.
And yeah, and once they came to my dad, and my dad said, I don't know the reason why you guys cannot have a baby. They got pregnant with triplets, actually, but unfortunately, in the womb, they died. And then my dad was like, let's try one last time. And the lady got pregnant with twins, and she gave birth to very healthy twins, and they were finally be able to become parents.
That's wild. So as a fertility doula, I'm working with couples who they're on their own fertility journey, and we work through a lot of the emotional components, especially when using like egg donor or IVF. There's a lot that you're doing for the first time. There's a lot of waiting, and you're really hopeful. And that mixed together can bring up a lot of emotions, and it really touches all parts of us. And what I think is so beautiful about this idea of traveling to do this procedure, I think it will give people an opportunity to break out of that normal routine that the mind is used to. And it creates a new experience, one where you can detach from the stress of your job, the stress of your day to day. You can go on vacation. You can focus your time and energy on what's happening in your body. So I think that it's such a beautiful idea. Before we end this conversation, is there anything else you want to share?
We're opening the biggest fertility clinic soon in North Cyprus. It's still under construction. It's going to be done towards the end of the summer. And we're going to have some apartments in the complex for patients.
That is big news. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we'll look out for that at the end of this summer in 2025. And
Yeah.
that's very exciting for the expansion and the option to stay on site. If traveling for an IVF, egg donation, or sperm donation procedure sounds interesting to you or you have more questions, you can absolutely reach out to Atah. His Instagram is at Fertility Soul. So it's Fertility SOL, like fertility solutions. Or, of course, reach out to me, Fertility Jess, and I can connect you with Atah. Even if you are still deciding, I think having a conversation with Atah or one of the patient coordinators can help you make the best decision for you. So I'd really encourage you to reach out and connect with them.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Her Fertility Podcast. In a sea of big name podcasts, your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed the show, I would so appreciate your support by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, wherever you listen, to help me reach as many women as possible. You can also share this episode with a friend. Sharing the podcast is the best way to help it grow and build a community of support around you on your fertility journey. If we aren't already connected, please find me at Fertility Jess on social media or sign up for one of my next fertility courses or offerings at fertilityjess.com.